on the application of data mining in law enforcement. Introduction. Data mining is a field of several disciplines, which deals mainly with research that leans towards applied mathematics and computer science. Data mining takes into consideration legislation that is geared toward preventing unwanted exceptions and backdoors. Secondly, data mining opts to consider legislation that will be applicable in the future. Data mining considers three perspectives in defining what type of data it uses. The first perspective is that the data can be stored in several databases in any format. Secondly, the analysis of data is through several ways, by either comparing the data or by performing complex mathematical operations on the data. Lastly, data mining output can be anything. Use of data mining in law enforcement agencies. Data mining is applicable in law enforcement to discover new information. This enables the addition of value to crime information, which is a deviation from the traditional way of counting crimes and generating summary reports. This way of data analysis allows new information with good operational value. Second, the use of data mining helps anticipate or predict future events. Another use of data mining in law enforcement is to characterize crime trends and patterns. It helps law enforcers develop specific ways of reducing crime rates. Threats to personal privacy through data mining. An example of a threat posed by data mining is the disclosure of personal information without consent. This enables the linking of records in the databases, which eventually allows the identity of the specific persons that the data represents. The systems in this context are potentially abusive. Another threat is an open provision of information. Government agencies disseminate data publicly to make them more efficient in consumer behavior. This type of data is for the evaluation of needs and the provision of critical analysis, which enables making independent conclusions, is vulnerable to unwanted access. Another potential threat is a combination of electronic data files with data mining techniques, which then raises the level of breach in privacy. This has enabled the unlocking of the potentiality of data, hence creating a major dilemma for electronically disseminated data. Lastly, a potential threat is that data mining methods can break disclosure methods that protect individuals. Steps in minimizing these threats. A way to control the threats posed is through offering controlled access and use of data centers where there is controlled access to the data. Another way to minimize these threats is with privacy-preserving data publishing. This process uses techniques such as randomizing the data, anonymity, and diversity. The second step to minimizing these threats is through changing the results of data mining applications to preserve privacy. An example of this is the use of association rule hiding techniques, where some association rules are suppressed to preserve the privacy of the data. Lastly, another method used is through cryptographic methods for distributed privacy. This will involve the computation of a common function that is applicable across multiple sites. How the processes of data, web, and text mining are wrongfully used to discriminate among clients. In fighting crime and terrorism, analysis of large amounts of data may enable access to information, which contains errors. Due to incorrect information, risk profiles may contain false positive information. These people do not share the group's characteristics but are part of the group. The other group is the false negatives, which contain people who constitute the risk profile described and do not belong to the group. Data mining may lead to stigmatization of particular groups when the information that is contained in risk profiles of company data becomes public. Ways to prevent discrimination among clients. The best method that is used to prevent this issue is through the removal of sensitive attributes that are contained in the databases. The attributes can range from gender, ethnic variations, and religion to criminal or medical records of a group or an individual. Another method of preventing this issue of discrimination is through transparency and accountability. This method revolves around the use of data instead of access to the data. Lastly, it can be noted that making the data anonymous and private may prevent discrimination against the clients. Conclusion. Successful performance of goal-oriented investigations and global-oriented investigations enables the establishment and maintenance of good information positions. The availability of large quantities of data makes it possible for law enforcement agencies to apply data mining to find new information. Data mining plays an important role in the extraction of useful information from the data through the provision of technologies that are necessary for the process. Data mining is proven to be important in fighting crime since it gives a trend that gives an insight into how the crime rate is in a given area, hence helping in decision-making in the allocation of police forces. In another view, data mining can be controversial since it may negatively affect the personal and civil rights of an individual, which lies in privacy and discrimination.